Chapter 1 of Winnie-the-Pooh, in which we are introduced to Winnie-the-Pooh and some bees, and the story begins. Here is Edward Bear, coming downstairs now, a bump, 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 on the back of his head behind Christopher Robin's. It is, as far as he knows, the only way of coming downstairs. But sometimes he feels that there really is another way. If only if he could stop bumping for a moment and think about it. And then he feels that perhaps there isn't. Anyway, here he is at the bottom and ready to be introduced to you. Winnie-the-Pooh. When I first heard his name, I said, just as you are going to say, but I thought he was a boy. So did I, said Christopher Robins. Then why can't you call him Winnie? I don't. But you said, when he's Winnie-the-Pooh, don't you know what there means? Yes, now I do, I said quickly, and I hope you do too, because it's all the explanation you're ever going to get. Sometimes Winnie-the-Pooh likes a game of sorts, where he comes downstairs, and sometimes he likes to sit quietly in the front of the fire and listen to a story. This evening... What about a story? Said Christopher Robins. What about a story? I said. Could you very sweetly tell Winnie-the-Pooh one? I suppose I could, I had said. What sort of story does he like? About himself, because he's that sort of bear. Oh, I see. So could you very sweetly... I'll try, I said. So I tried. Once upon a time, a very long time now, about last Friday, yes, Winnie-the-Pooh lived in a forest all by himself under the name of Sanders. What does under the name means? Asked Christopher Robins. It means he had a name over the door in gold letters, and he'd lived under it. Winnie-the-Pooh wasn't quite sure, said Christopher Robins. Now I am, said a growly voice. Then I will go on, said I. One day, when he was walking, he came to an open place in the middle of the forest, and in the middle of this place was a large oak tree, and from the top of the tree there came a loud, buzzing sound, a noise. Oh, yes, it's right there. Winnie-the-Pooh sat down at the front of the tree, put his head between his paws, and began to think. First of all, he said to himself, that buzzing noise means something. You don't get a buzzing noise like that, just buzzing and buzzing, without it meaning something. If there's a buzzing noise, somebody's making a buzzing noise, and that only reason for making a buzzing noise is that I know of it because you're a bee. And then he thought another long time and said, and the only reason for being a bee that I know is for making honey. And then he got up and said, and for the reason for making honey is so that I could eat it. And so he began to climb the tree. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed and he climbed. And as he does, he sang a little song to himself, and it went something a little like this. Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? A buzz, buzz, buzz. I wonder why he does. And then he climbed a little further, and a little further. Oh my, and then just a little further more. By that time he had thought of another song. It's a very funny thought. If a bear were bees, they'd build their nest at the bottom of the trees. And that being so, if the bees were bears, we shouldn't have to climb all the up these stairs. He was getting rather tired by this time, so that is why he sang a little bit of a complaining song. He was nearly there now, and he just had to stood on that very... Oh, dear. He fell. A crack sounds, thud, and a snap. Oh, help! Said Pooh as he dropped 10 feet on the branch below him. If I hadn't, he said, as he bounced 20 feet into the next branch. You see what I meant to do, he explained as he turned head over heels and crashed another 30 feet. And what I meant to do, of course, it was rather, he admitted as he slithered very quickly to the next 6 branches. It all comes, I suppose. He decided. He said goodbye to the last branch, spun around 3 times, and flew gracefully into a grouse bush. It's all come to a liking of honey so much. Oh, help. He crawled out of the grouse bush, brushed the prickles from his nose, and began to think again. And the first person he thought of, was Christopher Robin's. Oh, was that me? Christopher Robin, in his odd voice, hardly daring to believe it. Why, yes, that was you. Christopher Robin, of course, said nothing, but his eyes got larger and larger, and his face, it got pinker and pinker. So Winnie-the-Pooh went round to his friend Christopher Robin's, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest.